everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to be showing you guys two very popular mid-length wavy wigs that people just can't seem to get enough of. So stay tuned for that, but before I dive into it all, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. So tell me everybody, what do you do when you cannot decide between two potential wigs? Well, I'll tell you what we do. We have a wig off. And what is a wig off, you ask? Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know because I've never done one before, but we're gonna do it today. And what we're going to do is I'm gonna give you the rundown of Wavy Day, and then I'm gonna give you the rundown of Dalgona 16 hand tied, and then you guys below are going to vote and you're gonna put in the comments which one you think you would like better. Even if you're not someone who wears mid-length wavy wigs, I'd still love to hear from you because everybody's vote counts. So let the wig off begin. We're gonna start with Wavy Day that's on my head right this very second. So, giving you all the details. She is made with heat-friendly synthetic fibers. Every single time I talk about heat-friendly synthetic fibers, I always mention that they get frizzy on the ends pretty quickly, they get a little bit clumpy, and they get just a little frazzly and tangly a little bit more quickly than your plain synthetics. But at the same time, you are able to maintain it with heat. But with wavy or curly heat-friendly fibers, it's just a little bit more difficult to maintain the original curl pattern it comes in. So with Wavy Day, you will get her and you will love her for this adorable wavy style that she has. These waves are honestly like perfection in terms of the wave department. But you probably will get, I don't know, a couple months of wear with her before you're like, ooh, these frizzy ends need to be defrizzed. I need to do something about it. In that case, what I would suggest, maybe go get a hot comb. You can run through the ends and that will help soften it, but at the same time, it will soften the curl as well. So when that curl softens, you'll kind of have to recurl it a little bit. But initially, if you want to try your best to preserve these waves, try your best to stick to the ends. That being said, over time, you will notice frizzing and clumping all over, and you probably will get to the point where you'll just want to completely straighten her, refresh all the fibers, because heat, with heat-friendly synthetics, heat will completely revive your fibers back. Revive your fibers. I don't know what I just said. Revive your fibers back to what they were in the beginning. So heat will do that when you straighten it out, and then you'll have to recurl it. I have made a video before about recurling heat-friendly fibers, specifically recurling Wavy Day. So you can go search Chiquel recurl and it will pop up for you. But I just want to make that known that when you get a wavy heat-friendly style that's, you know, shoulder length and below, the chances that it's going to last you forever in that particular style is very low. So you'll get her, you'll enjoy her, you'll love her, but then you will have to start doing regular maintenance and refreshing her and potentially restyling her completely. Okay, now that that bad news is out of the way, let me talk about all these fantastic things about her other than her adorable wavy pattern. So she has this lovely lace front. I always love Raquel Welch's lace fronts. They do a great job of making them not so dense so that you don't have like a thick band of hair here. And also, like I always mention, on these darker wigs, you're going to see the knotting no matter what, like there's no way around it. But that being said, Raquel Welch always does lovely smaller knots, so it's not quite as noticeable. Wavy Day also has a full monofilament top, meaning you can part her anywhere you want and you still get that natural illusion of scalp, or, you know, as natural as you can get with knotting there. Wavy Day, I would say, I wouldn't call this a light density piece. I would say this is closer to a medium density, and it does have Permatease. So keep that in mind, because I know some people are afraid of Permatease. Some people feel like it just gives too much poof. And I've had many people get Wavy Day not knowing there was Permatease, putting it on, and then them just feeling like there was just too much hair. So I just want to warn you, if you don't want that extra poof, then you might not love Wavy Day. But she is tameable, like you can pat her down and make her a little bit more lower profile. But in doing that throughout the day, she's probably gonna just slowly creep up again. In terms of how Wavy Day fits, she fits pretty true to average, maybe just a touch bigger. If I lift her up here, there is lots of stretch in the circumference. So if you are above average, she will very likely fit you. And in terms of the rest of the cap, there is for me, I am a petite size, 11.5 front to back, 11.5 ear to ear, 20.5 in circumference. I do have extra bulk in here. If you are average, this will fit you lovely. If you are above average within the cap, the great thing about this type of cap is it's wefted. It's open wefted and it's stretchy. So it will likely be able to stretch around you, around your head, and probably fit you just fine. If you are petite like me, you could wear this by bringing in the Velcro adjusters. I have a Wavy Day that I wear and that I love, and I just deal with a little bit of extra bulk in the cap, but the circumference around my 20.5 inch head is fine when I bring the adjusters in. Okay, let me do a full-on spinaroo for you. And I should mention to you that the color I'm wearing right now is the color RL4/6 Black Coffee. So I know it's called Black Coffee, but this is not a black wig. This is just a nice medium to dark brown. So we have the colors 4, which is a dark brown, and the color 6, which is a medium brown. They're both intertwined in here to make this one color. You can kind of see 2 little separate colors of brown in here, but when you just give one glimpse at it, it just looks like a nice medium to darkish brown. Okay, let me take the cap off and give you a quick tour of Wavy Day before I talk about Dalgona hand tied. So here's your full monofilament top. You can part anywhere in this lace section. Here's your extended lace front that melts into your ear tabs. I always prefer the extended lace fronts over the lace fronts that end right here, because oftentimes there can be more of an abrupt transition from the lace into the rest of the cap. But these ones that extend and melt into the ear tabs just make the transition so seamless and more natural around this area, where you don't feel like you have to hide it with fibers, which is really lovely. Okay, we have an open wefted cap, like I was mentioning, really stretchy. So it's nice in terms of stretching over a little bit of a bigger head size. And then we do have these silicone strips all throughout the wefts, just to add a little bit extra grippage. Grippage, is that a word? Grippage? I don't know. And then we have velvet ear tabs, velvet extended nape, Velcro adjusters. I find this to be a comfortable cap with the velvet features here. They just make every cap feel a little bit more cozy. Okay, now to make this wig off a little bit more fair, I got Dalgona 16 hand tied in a similar-ish brunette color. So the color I have in Dalgona 16 hand tied is called Cappuccino with Cherry. Now, I should tell you that this is a discontinued color, so the chances of you getting this color are slim. If you want the next best thing, look for the color Ginger. Ginger is just a dark brown color. Okay, first we're gonna walk you through the cap since I don't have it on right now, so I may as well. So Dalgona 16 hand tied. This is also going to have a full monofilament top, just like Wavy Day had. Now, the lace front is a little bit more extensive. Instead of melting into your ear tabs, it goes all the way around your ear tabs. So that's great if you want to tuck it behind your ears. It gives that little extra bit of lace there so that you can feel a bit more comfortable with tucking it if you want. And it's really great for styling it, pulling it off your face as well. Now the ear tabs on Dalgona 16 hand tied are silicone. So Wavy Day had the comfy cozy velvet ear tabs. Dalgona has the silicone ear tabs. These are great if you are worried about your wig slipping. You can add some wig tape here or even some glue and stick it right to your temples, and your girl is not gonna be moving. So it's a really great feature to have. Dalgona 16 hand tied is, well, a hand tied cap. So here's the hand tied cap. It is so super stretchy. I really love Belle Tress's hand tied caps. I find them to be really comfortable. One thing you'll find that I wish they changed is that they don't have a velvet nape. It's just a standard, like, I don't know, I'm trying to get into focus. It's just a standard like rose lace nape. It's not soft. It's really not. So I don't know, if you are sensitive to that kind of thing, then you may not love that nape. And then Belle Tress uses their pull adjusters, like a bra strap adjuster, as opposed to Wavy Day and her Velcro straps. So here's a quick side-by-side comparison of the cap. There's only a couple of similarities. One thing I do want to point out between the caps though, is Wavy Day has this seam here. Do you see that seam in between the monofilament top and the lace front? Something I do find with these seams is that if you have a wig that you've had for a while, sometimes this seam rips apart and you're left with the monofilament top detached from the lace front. I've had that happen on a couple of my caps, and I've just gone in and like sewn them together, which is fine. It's not ideal, but I just wanted to warn you that sometimes it does happen, especially if you've had a wig for a while. Whereas on Dalgona 16 hand tied, there is no seam there. It is just one material, so you're not gonna have any of that ripping or coming apart between the seam because there's no seam. So I really love that. Dalgona 16 hand tied is also made with heat-friendly fibers. So just like my big spiel in the beginning about heat-friendly fibers, the same is going to apply to Dalgona 16. Okay, here she is. Man, she's a dark one. All right, now in terms of fit, Dalgona 16 is going to fit snugger than Wavy Day. I was mentioning how Wavy Day fits average to maybe a little bigger than average. Dalgona 16 hand tied does fit in your circumference a bit smaller than average. So if you are a petite like me, you might really love the fit and feel of this one because it's gonna fit a bit smaller. And also the hand tied cap, although it's not gonna sit snug against your head if you're petite, there's still gonna be a little bit of extra cap there. But because it is hand tied and it's a thin material, a thin breathable material, it's not gonna feel as bulky as if it were a wefted cap like Wavy Day. So for someone like me, Wavy Day feels a little bit bulkier on me in the cap than the hand tie version. So for me, I prefer the fit and the feel of Dalgona 16 hand tied. Now let's talk about these fibers. I did mention how these were heat-friendly fibers. However, there is just something about Belle Tress's heat-friendly fibers that are a little bit better than the rest. I find them to be a little bit softer. I find they don't tangle as much as other heat-friendly fibers, and I find they don't get as frizzy as quickly. Now, the one on my head right now is not my personal Dalgona 16. I'm just wearing this for review purposes, but I do have a personal Dalgona 16 hand-tied, and I've worn her many times. I have not yet had to add heat to her. She still is thriving with her curls, and she has not gotten frizzy, and she is not getting very tangly. Whereas I also have a Wavy Day, and I found that she did get frizzy more quickly and a little bit tangly at the ends. So that's just my personal experience with both of these wigs, just to keep you in the loop. I'll put this one on after so that you can kind of see a blonde one on someone, but this is the color Rootbeer Float Blonde. Okay, let's get back to this one. Here's your lace front up close. And of course, like I mentioned, you are gonna see the dark knots. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen when you have dark fibers. So you have to be okay with that if you are into these dark colors. I do love how Belle Tress's lace fronts also are not very dense in the front, which makes it easy to pull back and off of your face. You're not gonna have that thick band of hair in the front there, and it just makes it a little bit more natural. But if you are not okay with dark fibers here, then you may consider cutting a little bit of a side bang into her, or even a straight bang. You could cut bangs into this easy peasy. Any wig that has a lace front, and especially any wig that has a monofilament top with it as well, It's so easy to cut bangs into them. All you gotta do is just bring it forward. You might have to apply a little bit of heat to train the fibers in the direction you wanna go, and then just snip. But remember, if you are cutting a wig, always start too long. Don't cut too short. Just start cutting little bits at a time. Because sometimes synthetic fibers, when you cut them too short, they wanna go bing, and they wanna stick out straight, even if you keep adding heat trying to tame it. So always start off long. But like I said, if those knots are bothering you in general, consider a little bang, and that might help you feel a little bit better about it. All right, now the density of Dalgona 16 hand-tied, I would say, is a pretty similar density to Wavy Day. The difference in this wig is that you're not gonna have any permatease. Anytime you have a hand-tied cap, such as this one, anytime you have any hand-tied portions of a wig, like a monofilament top, you're not gonna have any permatease on there. So this cap is a completely 100% hand-tied cap everywhere, every which way. So you're not gonna have any permatease at all, which means it's gonna lay a little bit more low profile up at the top here, not be as poofy up here. But I do find that Dalgona 16 hand-tied sometimes looks a little bit fuller in general, because in my opinion, the waves or the curls on Dalgona 16 a little bit bigger of a barrel, sort of a looser, bigger barrel curl than Wavy Days, which are maybe a little bit more tighter and more spirally. So with these bigger, looser curls, I find that it almost looks like maybe there's more hair, even though I would not say there is more hair. But let's look at the difference of the curl pattern here. So if you like these sort of bigger, looser curls, then you might love Dalgona. If you like sort of tighter, more ringlety ones, then you might love Wavy Day. Something else you're gonna find is that Dalgona 16 hand-tied is gonna be a little bit longer than Wavy Day. Wavy Day sits about at your shoulders. Dalgona 16 goes beyond, it's a couple inches beyond. So this is gonna give you a bit of a longer look. Something else you'll find on Dalgona that you won't necessarily find on Wavy Day is the shorter pieces in the front. Wavy Day is typically one long piece in the front that matches the rest of the length. Dalgona 16 has these pieces in the front, which I personally love because, again, as I mention this all the time, anytime I'm doing some kind of an updo out of my face, I much prefer when I have some face framing pieces in the front to help disguise my hairline, to help give the area around my ears a little bit more of a natural appearance. Even with this one, even though it does have that lace front all the way around the ear tab, for someone like me who is bald, you still, I don't know, it still doesn't quite look right, if you know what I mean. It still doesn't quite look right, so I still enjoy keeping some fibers out to disguise the hairline, even though that lace front is there. Then, like I mentioned, Wavy Day, I'm gonna put Wavy Day on for you guys again. Wavy Day doesn't have those shorter pieces in the front. I don't like pinning Wavy Day back as much because the pieces in the front are long and droopy. I find them to be just too long for me. In fact, again, this is not my personal Wavy Day, but to my own Wavy Day, I've been thinking of cutting her and giving her some sort of a curtain bang actually. So we'll see if I end up doing that, because I do love a good updo and a good bun. And a good claw, but I just don't love the droopiness. So there's that to consider. All right, I think that I have given you all of the information that I can possibly give you on both of these beautiful pieces. Quite honestly, they are both lovely. They are both amazing. I love them both, but this is a wig off. We have to pick a winner. So if you were to choose either Wavy Day or Dalgona 16 hand-tied, which one would you choose? Now, I know which one I would choose. If you think you can guess which one I would choose, let me know in the comments and I'll let you know if you're right. Okay, and as promised, I told you I would put on the blonde Dalgona 16 hand-tied. And like I mentioned, this is in the color Rootbeer Float Blonde. I've had this for a while. I wear her often. She is still looking fantastic. Her fibers are still so soft and smooth. The ends are not really that frizzy at all. She has maintained herself very well. Something I do with all my wavy wigs is instead of brushing through with a comb, I prefer using my fingers as the first defense. That is going to prolong the waviness of them without getting them too frizzy too quickly. So try your best to use your fingers unless you get to tangles that are just unmanageable. And I will show you the lace front on this one since it is a lighter color. So Belle Tress does do a really nice lace front, as does Raquel Welch. Both of them are quite lovely. I don't typically have any complaints about them other than the fact, and again, I've mentioned this before too, other than the fact that lace fronts on wigs in general are just too perfect. I mean, they're just, no one's hairline is that perfect. So you can always pluck them if you want, but I don't do that. I don't know, maybe I'm too lazy, but I always leave pieces in the front to disguise the hairline a little bit so it doesn't look so perfect. That's just me. If you're someone who does love pulling it all the way back, then go for it, girl. You do you. But I don't like it on me as much. Okay, so like I said, cast your votes below. Let me know, are you team Wavy Day or are you team Dalgona 16 hand tied? Both are awesome. You can't go wrong either way, but I'm just curious to know what your thoughts are. So with all this being said, I'm gonna skedaddle, let you guys go for the day. I appreciate you hanging out with me here, watching this battle, and I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye, guys.